Hi everyone, this is Erica Burnett back again. I'm hanging in there on a weekly basis. I wanted to do this video while I was sitting in here today, and today's Labor Day, and all the music is going on outside. So if you hear a little music, that's not me, that's coming from my neighbors outside. But I was sitting in here and I was playing around with one of the household ingredients that most of us have, which is bleach. And so I decided to, play around with some bleach and see what would happen. So I'm going to do a little technique here, and hopefully I tested it out to see what it would look like, and it came out pretty good. And so I'm going to see if this happens again. It doesn't make me out to be, a little liar about the technique, working out pretty good. So I'm going to start off, and here I have a little piece of paper. This is watercolor paper. And so I'm going to put that in the center, and I'm going to take and I'm going to do two colors, which is Rose Red by Stampin' Up! And also Basic Gray by Stampin' Up! And I'm going to blend them in, on the paper using blender brushes. So I'm going to start off doing the pink and do like a circular motion. And start off here at the top. Okay. Do that again. Make it a little darker. Just a little darker. And actually, you know what? A little bit more. A little bit more won't hurt. A little more never hurts. Okay, so now I'm going to put that to the side, and I'm going to do the basic gray on the bottom, and maybe go around the edges a little bit with the basic gray. So I have my little smaller brush here for that, circular motion here, and I'm going to start off the paper. I always start off the paper so I don't get that big blotch in the center, and just blend it in. And there's never any right or wrong way on how to do this. It's however you feel like you want to apply it. That's perfectly fine. And I think I used these colors before, so for some reason I'm gravitating towards these colors. I think I have something on my blog using these colors. I don't know why I'm just me and these colors. I don't know what it is. But I think they go well together. So I don't blend, like transfer any colors, I'm going to take a piece of tissue and I'm going to place it here to hold the piece down while I put a little bit of gray like around the edges, just a little bit. So I'm just going to go around that pink with a little bit of gray, across the top a little bit, and around the sides. It's just a little bit. You may not be able to see it on the camera, but it's there. Okay, so that part is done. So I'm done with that. I can close my ink up. So now what I'm going to do is, I have a cup of water here that has bleach in it, and it's like a few drops of bleach in a 3-ounce cup of water, and it's filled to the top. So I'm going to take a brush, I'm going to take a brush, I'm going to put this down here a little bit, and I'm going to grab, believe it or not, bubble wrap. This is a scrap piece of bubble wrap that I had laying around. I said, let me just try it and see what happens. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take, this is the brush that I have, and I'm going to take and dip it in the water. Like I said, about 3 drops of bleach in the water. There. And then I have a paper towel. I'm just going to dab so it's not a whole lot of excess water. I'm going to dab it on a paper towel. And now I'm just going to go over. I'm going over the bubble wrap with the bleached water. Okay. And then what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to place it on the piece of cardstock that I have cut out. So I'm going to put my brush to the side. I'm going to take and flip it over. And I'm going to place it down. And let me move this towards the middle so you can see that better. And I'm going to place it down. And I'm just going to take and smooth it out a little bit. Just and press down, press down, press down, press down, press down. See if I can get as much of that on there as possible and lift it up. So now you see the speckled pattern that it left. Now before when I did it, it didn't do a speckle pattern. It did something completely different. So I don't know what's going on with that, but it looks different. So let me lift it up to the camera so you can see that speckle pattern. That's what it looks like close up. Okay, so I'm going to take that and I'm going to dry it a little bit. See if I can dry it. It doesn't require, it looks like a whole lot, just a little bit of drying. So you'll hear my heating tool. I'm going to dry that a little bit. Just to clear up these wet spots that I see. And you'll see the paper curl up a little bit. And that's perfectly fine. It always does that. So what you do is you flip it over and you just heat up the back. Just heat up the back. And that'll take away, and it'll bend it back into shape. There you go. So that's what that looks like dry. That's the pattern that the bubble wrap left. Was that dry spot. I mean that pattern, which is really cool because it didn't look like that before. So that's what that looks like. So now I'm going to stamp over top of that. So I have my stamp on. This is a Hero Art stamp. And it's called Starburst Lace. So that's what I'm going to use. So I'm going to stamp that with some black ink. And this is a huge stamp. And I'm going to stamp off. I'm not going to stamp the whole image on. And I'm not looking for a perfect image. We all would like that, but today I'm actually not looking for a perfect image. So put that back in the center, and I am going to kind of stamp off a little bit, not the whole. I'm gonna kind of stamp off just a little bit. I want to know if I want to go up and down or in the middle. So I'll stamp off a little. And I'm going to press down hard as I can. Like I said, I'm not looking for a perfect image. And that's pretty good. That, to me, that's fine. It doesn't have to be, it gives it like a vintage look, and I'm perfectly fine with that. But somehow when you use watercolor paper, it doesn't always come out as a clean, like crystal clear, opaque image, that solid look that you want. It always doesn't come out that way. So I kind of suspected that. So that's why I was like, I'm not pushing for it today. So I'm going to dry that because the ink is wet. On watercolor paper, dye ink tends to take a little bit longer to dry. So I'm going to use the heating tool to dry it. Okay, again, this curls up. It curls up when it's wet watercolor paper. So what I'm going to do is flip it over, and I'm just going to heat the back so it bends the other way. And there you go. All right, so that's what that looks like. That's that speckle pattern with a little stamp on there. And now I'm going to take and place this card on the card base with a layer. So let me move my ink out the way because I wouldn't want to mess anything up. Okay, so that's what that image looks like. And now I'm going to get my card layer, which is black. So I'm putting it on a black layer. So I'm going to do that first. And when putting adhesive, I use the dot roller. When doing that, watercolor paper, it's not difficult, but sometimes it doesn't take like your first roll. So you really have to press hard in order to get that full layer of adhesive on the back. So you got to put a little pressure on it. For some reason, I don't know why, but it kind of lifts up a little bit when you do it lightly. So you have to put some pressure on it. Okay. So there you go. So I'm going to take and place that. Okay. Okay, there you go. So that's what it looks like so far. And of course, I'm going to put this on. I'm going to do a blog on this. It's not up yet, but I'm definitely going to do a blog on this. And actually, you know what? My bad. The blog will be up by the time this is posted. So it'll be on my blog, and my website information is on my channel, and I'll be posting it on all my social media sites. So you can see this up close and personal, because I'm sure this camera's not doing it justice. So I'm now going to place that on the base cardstock, which is a piece of natural cardstock. So I'm going to use that. Okay, place this one here. All right, and I'm not done. So far, that's what it looks like. So now I'm going to get a sentiment. I have a sentiment that I'm going to use, and it says you raise kindness to an art. So I'm going to use that just on a piece of scrap paper, a piece of natural cardstock, just like that scene here. And I'm going to ink that up. And I'm just going to stamp that here. Put a little pressure on it. There you go. Came out nice. So then I'm going to die cut that out using my little die cutting machine, which is my favorite machine because it's my big shot, because I'm always die cutting something. So Okay, we're going to die cut that out. Sometimes this thing acts weird. When the platform is bent a little bit, these little acrylic plates, when they bend, sometimes, because this is a magnetic platform, it holds the metal die in place. But sometimes when the acrylic plate is bent a little bit, it will move. So you have to be careful about that as well. Okay, heard a little crack there. Okay. Okay. You raise kindness. Oops, can you see that? Whoops, whoops. You raise kindness to an art. That's what that looks like. So now I'm going to place this. I'm going to raise it up though a little bit. So I'm going to use these little, what you call them, dimensionals. They add a 3D look to any project that you have. So I'm going to use those. I want to make sure that this does not okay. Peel them off here. And I'm going to place that right in the center. Right here. Well, almost in the center. Okay, I'm going to bend that so you can see the overall look. And here you go. That's what that came out. That is bleach on bubble wrap, that background with a little stamping and popping up on top. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you didn't hear any of the music outside, and like I said before, I'll be posting this on my social media sites as well as my blog. If you have any questions at all, drop your questions in the comments section. If there's anything I could do better, if there's anything you would like to see on my YouTube channel, don't hesitate, feel free to drop those comments below the video. I'll be back again next week. Take care. Have a nice rest of your Labor Day and see you soon. Bye-bye.